G'day and welcome to Aussievision. We have reached the end of day 2 of the second rehearsals. We're back at our Airbnb from the press centre and we are having a little glass of wine to finish the day.
Got to have a knock-off drink.
Definitely, and it is a lot warmer in here. It has been a very cold, rainy day in Turin today, so stay indoors and have a wine. But look, more important things to talk about, Michael. The last few songs of the rehearsals today.
Yeah, our second part of rehearsals today with the 5 songs. We kicked it off with Serbia, Constructor. Look, I was really impressed with this. Sticks very much to the format of the national final. We have a few little embellishments here and there, but generally it's the same vibe, and it works. It really, really works. I love it, but I personally love the song.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job of bringing it to the Eurovision stage because it was such an iconic performance. Why tweak around with it? We were so compelled in the first place that it should work. Now, the one difference is they are including some of the lyrics, not all of them, just bits and pieces of the lyrics in English, obviously to try and help give some kind of understanding for someone who probably has no idea what's going on. There's been mixed reviews from people about whether or not, do everything or do nothing, or do a few pointers. What do you think?
No, look, I think any kind of subtitles which they add in here, and they're very sparse, only a few little bits here and there. I think that's going to help. Anything you can help with that accessibility. You don't want the whole thing subtitled. I think that becomes just too onerous and people just end up reading the screen and not actually looking at what's happening. So just the odd one there to let people in is a really good idea. She also had a few in-ear problems and audio problems throughout her run-throughs. So she was such a professional. She just kept going. It was really, really good. It works. It just works.
Yeah, the only thing I like bringing out the words. I think that makes a big difference for the song. They do look like the subtitles you get in foreign language movies, though.
Okay.
So will you be like, hang on, are we getting subtitles? Are we not getting subtitles? Compared to Italy 2018, where they made it kind of part of the performance.
Okay.
So that's just, I do think it's overall more positive, but maybe I would have done it a little bit differently.
Fair enough. I guess they can't use the back of the screen on this occasion.
No, they can't.
Unfortunately.
Maybe they were. Who knows? All right, who was next?
Next up was Azerbaijan with Nadir. This is all very tidy. This is very, very good. The star of the whole performance is his vocal. He does have a vocal moment, which is really, really fantastic. The rest of it, we have man mimicking him. Think Man in Perspex box from 2013 style. But I mean, no one's going to remember that when they're watching on the night. So look, it's good. It's dark, but it's good.
Yeah, it is very dark. It's very slickly done. And yeah, that came to mind of the Hold Me thing, but they're on kind of bleachers, like the American type style bleachers, one each side. Oh, they're in together and then they're separated. I think it's probably too dark at times to connect with him because the moments that you do, and I think they were playing around with some camera angles.
They were.
The moments you do, I much prefer it. I like to see him sing because he sings it really well. And when you're just watching some rando dude just sit in bleachers where he's hitting these vocal moments, no, I want to see him hit them. Even if he pulls a funny face. I don't know. I just think it's important to open the song up a bit because it feels a bit closed and dark.
Yeah. Look, with every run-through I watched, they never light his face entirely. It's always some part of it in darkness, etc. It's a creative choice. I'm almost not a big fan of what he's wearing either. It's almost like a tracksuit with mummy bandages around the legs. I
didn't really notice it. Kind of looked raggy, I guess.
Yeah. It's just, but look, overall, it was very good. He's a very, very good singer.
Yeah, it'll be another one for jury. Maybe not as much for televote, but that's kind of Azerbaijan around a lot of the times. Not last year, but kind of 2019-ish. Who was next?
Georgia. Circus Mercus. A lot going on. There's just, it's very much a sort of visual assault. A kind of good one. And then you add it to this quirky song and their quirky kind of shtick they've got. The whole package is a lot. I have to say, I think it sounds a lot better than we heard, for example, in their preview parties. They're vocally a lot better. It's a lot more closer to the recorded version. But I think for the first-time viewer, it just might be too much. Just too much.
Yeah, it's kind of... I'll start with the positives. Agree. Vocal is much better than I expected it to be. I mean, you're not extending yourself, but it can sound messy like it did in the pre-parties, and it sounded quite smooth and good for what it is. Far too much, and it's just quirk for the sake of being quirk. Look at me with my beard with flowers in it. Look at me with my puppet show. Look at me with the weird goggles on. I don't know. The good thing is it keeps they basically are just standing there, and it keeps a lot of movement happening, which is one thing. Like, it is a bit of an assault. Not really my personal taste, as you can probably tell. But maybe people who like this, it'd be all right. I do like the two clowns on the side in the LEDs.
There's a lot going
the
on
clown
with the
man
LEDs.
thing.
Yeah. There's also, they're probably the best use of the LED floor as well. They use that a lot. It's very visual, very colourful.
Yeah.
If you like it, you're going to like it. If you don't, I think you're just going to switch off immediately.
Kind of switched off.
Why did I get that feeling? The next up was Emma Muscat and Malta.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, let's. What an honour, Dale. Thank you. Look, what a complete opposite. We went from probably too much to just not enough. She does everything. I do not have a criticism of Emma whatsoever. She sings what she can, but it is basically a glorified kind of X Factor performance. And there is progression. She starts at the piano for the first 20 seconds or so, and then she's standing on top of the piano, and then she walks to the front and has 4 dances, which all looks a little junior Eurovision. It's just not happening as a visual presentation.
It feels, I think you tweeted something about it, it just feels all very safe. And also she jumps up onto that, she's there in the piano for like 20 seconds is generous. She's like, sings a couple of things and because that chorus does come in quickly, and she's up on that piano and she stays standing up on that piano for a long time. And she just kind of looks like, you know, that person at the party who's had a few person at the party might be me at occasions, who gets up on the piano, just stands there and sings. It seems a bit weird, and then she gets down. I like the walk out to the satellite stage. It gives it movement. She's kind of connecting. She's doing something. I like her dress. It's a bit kind of Gina G from Modern Times. But then she's in sneakers, and it gets a bit junior Eurovision. I agree. I just feel it's a bit twee, and I just don't think juries are going to come for it, and she needs them to come for it because they won't get the telly.
To be honest, she didn't need to play the piano at the start. It's basically like, oh look, she's a musician, and now she's standing on the piano. It's just, there's not much here. I mean, there's some nice lighting and a couple of nice little effects.
It's nice and warm and gold, and it's lovely colours actually. I like the colours.
All right, shall we move on?
Yes.
All right, final rehearsal from the second batch here was Aquile, San Marino and Stripper. Oh gosh, creative whiplash from what we saw from Emma Muscat to Achille. Look, each run through was different, and it certainly progressed. First one was a bit of a mess, to be honest. By the time we got to the third one, we had all the trimmings, all the bells and whistles. We had the pyro, the smoke, the guitar with the sparks coming out of it. And it was bloody awesome. I am here for it. I am living for the whole aesthetic. He's coming out as sort of Italian Frankenfurter with a cowboy hat on. It just works for me. Is it over the top? Yes, probably. Does everything work? Probably not. But I don't care.
Yeah, I think it's kind of clunky and messy, but smoothed over by the ridiculous campness of the whole thing. And not just camp as well, because he does give... Like, the pyros make a difference. The smoke makes a difference. There's moments. They know how to capture moments. And in between those moments is probably when it gets a bit clunky. But you don't care, because when you see him riding that bull, the mechanical bull,
it's fantastic.
Which at one time I thought he was going to come off it, actually. He kind of went, ooh, and then he was like, are you going to come off it? But I think those moments you forgive and you forget those little bits where it might not be super smooth, because... he's bringing something to Eurovision that isn't about doing super smooth and rehearsed. It's rehearsed, but it's real in a way.
Yeah, and the bull thing works when it's kind of going in time with the music. It kind of really, really works. The whole thing is kind of ridiculous, but that's what works about it. I prefer to see that than the safe option, perhaps, than we saw from the act before. So,
is it enough to get through? Do you think?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think it's given itself a real chance.
Yeah.
I was probably favouring Emma to get through before because of the strength of the song and perhaps a jury vote. Now I'm very much leaning towards Achille just for the lols, to be honest.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think one thing we were saying before is that semi-final 2 is bringing it. I think it's been far more enjoyable. The staging's been better. The songs have generally come together more. Semi one's not great, I don't think. Semi two is looking really good.
Yeah, you compare the first 7 songs we saw yesterday from semi-final 1 compared to the 7 songs we've seen so far from semi-2. Chalk and cheese.
Totally.
This is by far more competitive. Far more competitive in this semi-final.
Not great for Australia,
No, because we're 8th.
but we'll wait and see. So Australia will be up first tomorrow. So we are going to be up bright and early and ready to watch that one, even though we are going to have a couple of cocktails tonight, I think.
Because it's your birthday day.
It is my birthday, so we will have a little celebration, but we've got to keep ourselves fresh to chat all things Australia. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right, well, that's it for today. Lots to talk about, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us.
Ciao, ciao.